The problem is that crisis upon crisis is stacking up on top of each other. There's a pandemic, there's a housing crisis, there's an opioid crisis. There aren't enough supports for people struggling with addiction or mental anguish, mental illness, substance use disorder. This is a huge, complicated problem.
I'm next to Crab Park in Vancouver. It was just after 6 o'clock Tuesday morning when Vancouver police moved in and started to enforce an injunction granted to the Port of Vancouver last week. Officers have been clearing out this area first, a lot also owned by the Port of Vancouver. The VPD says the property was locked and secured and was broken into several days ago as the camp here expanded. For many, this area has been home after the tent city at Oppenheimer Park was dismantled in April. For the most part, campers dismantled their tents and packed up their belongings without an issue.
The difficulty is that when people are moved, they set up in a different place, and because they feel vulnerable, they look to, again, congregate, because there's strength in numbers. They feel safer when there's a community around, and ultimately just displacing camps doesn't solve the problem.
And where do campers go from here? Jeremy Hunka with the Union Gospel Mission says dismantling the camp won't solve the problem.
There are solutions to improving the situation. Those solutions involve housing. Housing. If I could say it 1,000 times, I would. Housing with wraparound supports that gives people a better alternative where they feel safe, where their needs are met.
In Vancouver, Greg Harper, City News.